Another day, another day, another day, another day. In the sun or the motherfucking rain, had to slang all day just to fucking maintain. Another day in this hopeless game, trying to make a change, but it's all the same. Another day, death is always 2 steps away. Drop your guard, you get shot in the motherfucking brain. Another day, nothing to gain, your life to lose in this motherfucking game. Ain't no fucking truce. Another day, I know I'm cursed, I live the life of pain in a world where I'm hated cause I'm Mexican. Another day, to this death and fire still we stand. If you ain't with us, you simply won't understand. Another day, in the system we were meant to fail. If you ain't one of them, you'll catch a life of hell. Another day, how to prevail with our parents dead or in jail. In this life of war, only time will tell. We came up in our motherfucking block, trying to set up shop and avoid the fucking cops. Another day, in the spot where the violence don't stop, and your best fucking friend becomes your fucking Glock. Another day, we aim for heads, never for the legs. In this game of death, vatos love revenge. Another day, and it's a shame to our blocks we pledge. We all different hoods, but all Mexicans. Another day, we are victims of a racist nation. It's sad to say we became the reflection. A revelation that was given through time. All I saw was the death of my own damn kind. Still our instincts led us to survive. I thank the Lord that he spared this life of mine. And my past goes through my fucking mind. Gunshots through the wind, homies dead or doing time. And it's a past that could never be changed. I played the game to pay my bills and to fucking maintain. How to explain when your life is in pain and you hide your feelings, snorting lines of cocaine. Still I came up out this motherfucking hell when the land with crack sales, avoiding jail cells. Homies dead or in motherfucking jail. How the fuck did I survive? I can't fucking tell. A distant thought in a fucking memory. Still I dream of motherfuckers coming right after me. How to proceed in this life with no peace, even in my dreams. Death is all I see. And these demons almost won this fight. Had my gun to my head, contemplating suicide. When the fuck will this pain subside? Will I ever find peace in this life of mine? And as I stared at myself through the mirror, I looked into my eyes as I pulled the trigger. Tested my luck playing Russian roulette. I felt the Lord save the life of this Mexican. Nothing to lose and a lot to gain. I felt my life needed one big drastic change. Where to begin, I can't stay the same. Almost put a motherfucking bullet to my brain. And here I am, a changed fucking man, trying to make a living. Hope y'all understand. Too much blood in my motherfucking hands. What's the life and curse of this young Mexican?
Fuck jar, homie. Fuck jar, homie.
Nosotros somos escuela israelita, conocimiento plato, sal.
Power of manifesting. If you know really understood this as their destruction.
Tú eres un hombre hispano, negro, o indio nativo. Tu lugar es aquí con nosotros. Nosotros somos tu verdadera familia. Deja de seguir la costumbre de nuestros opresores y toda otra maldita nación. Tú eres Israel. Nosotros somos la escuela israelita de conocimiento Plástico universal. Órale.
So, like, you bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna get started just setting this up. Make sure the sound works. Okay, that works. Orderly. What's going down, y'all? What's going down, carnales y mujeres? You're tuned into another episode of the Inconvenient Truth, La Verdad Incomoda. And of course, we'll start at 10, Salaki, I had a, Salaki, we live in America, you got to work, so you know how to work. And unfortunately, they kept me longer than expected, but no sweat. I'm here, here just Wednesday night. And what we're going to get into here, man, it's titled, tonight's episode is titled ICE Causes Criminals, but who's really breaking the law? We're talking about, of course, the cases with the brother Lorenzo and Sebastian and accountability, right? This does things to you and preaches to you all about taking accountability and talks about, how you can't ever blame them or blame other people for your problems. Meanwhile, what do? They do the exact same thing. They have a problem taking accountability. They have a problem with blaming everyone else for their problems. That's what America does. That's what los gabachos hacen, man. They blame everyone for their problems. And you want the proof? Ask yourself how Donald Trump became president, man. That's the proof right there. You understand? Just let me share these real quick. All right. Of course, Precinct Officer 1000 Malakma reporting live out of Southern California, Mexico. Of course, Lord Allow, the Carnal, Officer 5000 Commandant will be joining us momentarily. Of course, shout out to him for his class. He taught one hell of a, of a Wednesday night law class for ISUK Mexico. For all y'all that are, so like, give me 1 second, man. Give me 1 second. Salakia, just had to, just to see real quick. But yeah, so Lord Allow, Officer 5000 Commandant will be joining us momentarily. As I, said a second ago, tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about how, all of a sudden out of nowhere, what happened to, the brother Lorenzo, and how all of a sudden now the FBI is claiming that they found methamphetamines in his van. You understand? And here's my question. You find that in his van and you find that to say what? That justifies the ICE agent shooting him. You know, now he deserved to die, right? Now he deserved to pay with his life because he did the horrible crime of being here in this country undocumented. You understand what? When you hear oppressors try to tell you, oh, they should have been here illegally, blah, 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 man. Nah, that's not why they unalive them. They unalive them because they're bloodthirsty. This oppressor is bloodthirsty, man. You understand? This oppressor, los cabachos, are bloodthirsty, are violent, are the real thugs and criminals, and yet they point the finger at you. I always try to point out all the bad you do and everything that's wrong with your culture and your identity and what you represent. Meanwhile, what do they represent? What's their culture? What's their identity? You understand? What's this white man's identity, man? What's the gringo's identity, the gabacho's identity? What's their culture, right? Because they're quick to point out everything wrong with ours. But what about theirs? I mean, we you know, I would like to bring this out in a future episode where we show, you know, the history of cartels, the history of you know, the wars and everything fought all throughout Mesoamerica, they call Latino America, right? Sudamerica. And you find out how they're the ones behind a lot of the violence out there. They're the ones behind a lot of the crimes. Cartel culture is not Mexican culture, man. You understand? Cartel culture is not Mexican culture. That's American culture. All the guns that they're getting come from America. Man, what's going on with this camera? All right. That's American culture. And you want the proof? Go look at that movie. What's that movie called? Any of y'all seen that movie Blow with Johnny Depp? That right there should be, there's a clue, right, of who started that whole drug dealing, right? Go look at further back, all them gangster movies, man, The Godfather, Goodfellas. You know, when the whole drug trade was created by who? By this oppressor, man. Here's the thing that I find interesting, man. You got oppressors, MAGAs, you know, all these gabachos talking about Mexico, talking about gang culture, talking about, you know, the crime and violence in Mexico, you know, and the drugs, right, as I stated. But yet ain't none of them ever talk about getting off the drugs. You understand? You know, there wouldn't be a drug problem in the United States. There wouldn't be cartel violence in Mexico if you Edomites, if you gabachos would just stop taking drugs. What did Nancy Reagan say? Just say no? Well, that's the point, man. Y'all could just say no. Instead of blaming Mexico for your drug problem, why don't you stop taking drugs? What do you tell us? Ain't nobody made us take the drugs? Well, ain't nobody making you white people take the drugs. Ain't nobody making you gabachos take drugs, man. All the opiates, the fentanyl, all that. Ain't nobody making y'all take that. But you want to blame Mexico for it. You want to blame the Mexicans. The market wouldn't exist if y'all didn't create it. You understand? So that's why I find interesting and ironic that you'll tell us we can't blame you for our problems, but you can blame us for yours. America can blame other countries for its problems. Meanwhile, it tells Mexico it can't do that. You tell Mexicans to go back to Mexico and fix the problems in Mexico. Well, why don't you fix the problems with your own people, America? Instead of blaming Mexico and looking at all the violence that goes on with Mexico, why don't you deal with the violence in your neighborhoods first, in your own backyards? Why don't you deal with the problems with your own ICE agents before you go harassing, our people, man? You know, that's my question. That's my question to you oppressors out there, man. Why don't you learn to take some accountability? Why don't you pick yourselves up by your bootstraps? You thought Donald Trump was going to do that for y'all, huh? You thought Donald Trump was going to pick you up help you get up for your boost, pick you up by your own bootstraps. Thanks. Salaki, this camera, man. Okay. You thought Donald Trump was going to help you get up and tie the boot for you, didn't y'all? Then you find out Donald Trump was just another charlatan. Hey, shalom, sis. How Shema Alatapa Shemi Hawashah. We got the sister Mariam up in here. Shalom, sis. You know, of course, let me put this up in here. I have a link up in here. You know, you want to share your thoughts and opinions, bring your questions or comments. I'll try to answer them the best of my ability. If I don't know, I'll go find out and come back to you with the answer. But here's the link, man. So let's get in. Let's get into the you know, the topic. Like I said, Lord allow, you know, I'll be joining us shortly. Give me 1 second, man. I want to fix this layout while we're here. It was a layout I had. Cinema layout. Okay. Let's see if this is the one. No, that's not it. Okay. We'll do this layout right here. Perfect. Bear with me, man. You know, I'm learning the basics of art. So with that being said, let's get into it. All right, let's start with the main topic, right? This article is titled "Substance and Ban from Houston ICE Shooting is Electrolyte Mix," lawyer says. So of course, right, this is what they found in the van, and they're claiming that, you know, supposedly he had meth in the van. Right? They're claiming that he had methamphetamines, as if that somehow what it seems like what they're trying to imply is that they stopped a drug dealer, right? A big dangerous drug dealer that was trying to run him over, when the camera that they got doesn't show Lorenzo trying to run over the ICE agent. You understand? And now the FBI is claiming that they found baggies in his car full of a substance. And immediately they're jumping the gun and saying that it's methamphetamine. Well, let's see. Let's find out. That was going to be the news story, but no sweat. The brief is: an affidavit claims crystal-like substance are inside the van targeted in the fatal Houston ICE-involved shooting. According to an attorney, the family of the man who was shot denies claims that the substance was consistent with fentanyl. Community members, right, are invited to a public viewing Thursday honoring Lorenzo Salgado in the shooting. So, of course, right, it's titled Houston, a lawyer of the family of Lorenzo Salgado Araja is explaining the crystal-like substance that was seen in the van targeted in last week's ICE-involved shooting in Houston. Right? Here we go. Okay. Is this a video? Oh, it's not a video. So Houston ICE shooting substance seen in the van. The backstory: the FBI requested to search the van, the white van that was being driven by Arajo when he was shot and killed by an ICE agent. According to an affidavit filed in federal district court Tuesday, investigators say they saw several plastic bags with a white crystal-like substance in plain view from the outside of the van. The affidavit goes on to say the bags were seen between the driver and passenger seats and on the floorboard of the van, and were packaged in a way that was consistent with methamphetamine, but noted that the van had not been searched. So here's my question, right? What does this guy have to do with the shooting of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo? You understand? What does this got to do with the way they tried? Did they pull him over because they suspected that he had bags of methamphetamine in the car? That's why they stopped him? What's this got to do with the case? ¿Qué tiene que ver esto? ¿Me entienden? Ninguna cosa. The affidavit goes on to say the bags were seen on the driver's side, right? And this is the picture right here, and these are the baggies. You know, here's my question, right? Are you saying he was selling the bags or was he using the product? Because why was no paraphernalia found if he was using that stuff? Why was no rolls of cash found? Or was there rolls of cash found on Lorenzo? That's my question. If he was out here dealing methamphetamine to people. Or a fire. Did you find a firearm on him? Did he have a record? Did he have a record of known for trafficking narcotics? This man has no record. You had his son come live on camera and express, right, who his father was to him, what type of person he was. Now all of a sudden they want to claim that supposedly he had drugs in the car. And why would they do that? Because they really want to, you know, they really want to this Lorenzo so that they can, you know, save their face. You understand? What's the term? Save face. They want to save face because they know what they messed up. ICE knows they messed up. No out of sis. Right? The sister Marian brought out. He had no record. The what? You understand? He had no record. So why all of a sudden now are they going to say that they found this in his car? Khan says absolutely. They want to destroy the image of a brown man. You know what's interesting? That they did the same thing to George Floyd. Right? They tried to bring up his past. They tried to say that they found drugs in his system. Khan says it was an electrolyte mix, right? Right? They want to bring up the past, say they found drugs in the system, that they found this and that. Just so they can demonize, just so they can justify, just so you can say that, oh, well, he deserved to die. It doesn't matter. And it's so hypocritical because how many times this happens to white people, to oppressors, and their history is never brought up. You understand? Their history is not, you never hear the things they did, and then you hear someone justify it. You understand? I've never heard it. Have any of y'all? Right, so all I gotta say is this, man.
Look at it closely. Look at it closely.
You know what I mean? Look at the issue closely, you know? So let's continue. Here's some pictures, right? They're saying this is the meth. Family denies assumption what they're saying. Immigration attorney Ruby Powers is representing Araujo's brother, who was detained during last week's ICE incident. According to a statement from the attorney, Araujo's family says the substance in the bags was a homemade electrolyte mix that outdoor workers make to work in extreme Texas heat. Now, what time is it right now? It's summertime. You understand? So why would you think that he wouldn't have that electrolyte mix? And I didn't grow up in Texas. I didn't grow up in Tejas, but I did visit out there. And yes, it gets pretty humid out there, man. It gets pretty hot out there. So let the sister Mariah, man, so she'll tell you how hot it gets out there, man. According to the statement from Power says the substance is made of granulated salt, lemon, and water. And here's the full statement below. Read the full. I'll read some of it because I know it's a lot. This week, as the Salgado Araujo family says goodbye to Lorenzo, his brother Victor is grieving from inside ICE custody. God damn, man. You want to talk about messed up, man? How is it you lose your brother, man? Your brother gets gunned down in front of you, and to make it worse, you're locked up in an ICE facility, man. And all the horror stories we're hearing about how things are in the ICE facility with the passing on your brother, having your brother's life taken from him, watching him die in front. You know what I mean? You can only imagine the effect that's going to have on somebody. This week, as the Sajo family says goodbye to Lorenzo, his brother Victor is grieving from inside ICE custody, carrying not only the loss of his brother, but also defending his honor and fighting for the justice he deserves. Man, like talk about messed up, man. You understand? Talk about messed up and the lack of mercy for this oppressor. Salakia. To even, not even let him, let his brother have any honor, man. So I just want to share this real quick to my main page. Sister Moran said they even try to demonize the image of the Hispanic lawyer representing the other brothers who were with Lorenzo. Good night, man. Of course they would try to do that because they need to make themselves look good. You know what I mean? And they need you to be the villain. Now, let me pull up a scripture while we're at it, right? Because part of the problem is that we don't understand why this is happening to us. You understand? You know what I mean? We don't know why this is happening. We're shocked and surprised. We think that we just have to, be, love them and be peaceful, be good Christians, and thinking that somehow that's going to make this oppressor change. You understand? But what y'all don't realize is that this is in America's nature to be this way towards us. Let me read the scripture for y'all. Let me go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. You know what I mean? When when a lot of you Christians out there hear this, right, and think that we're making this, we made all this up, that the curses don't apply to us. Well, take a look at this. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 50. Let's start at verse 49, 28 and 49. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 49. What's going on with the streamer, man? Deuteronomy 28 and 49, it says, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Now, ask yourself this, right? I always love asking this when I read the scripture, right? What side of the world did these cabachos come from? For all you Christians out there that don't believe in being an Israelite, are all about, I don't know what y'all believe now, and y'all believe, Jesus is the Most High, and that, the cabachos is your brother. Well, here's the question, right? What side of the world did the cabachos come from? The side of the earth, man. Europe is on the other side, the other end of the earth. As swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou understand. Right? What's the symbol of America? The symbol of America is the eagle. The symbol of Spain was the eagle. Of Rome, of all these European empires, the eagle. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Now ask yourself this, right? When our indigenous ancestors encountered the Europeans, did they understand English? Did they understand French and Portuguese or Italian? No, they did not. They did not understand Spanish. Or German. Or English. They didn't understand none of those languages. And that's when it says, when a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. Now, of the word countenance. This is in the Merriam, what is it, Webster's Dictionary. Countenance, look or expression. Make sure I spelled it right. A mental composure, a calm expression, face, visage, bearing or expression that offers approval or sanction, moral support. As a verb, to extend approval or caution. What's the Hebrew word for countenance in the Bible? Give me 1 second, right? Panah, I believe it's around Salaki. Man, I wish you were right here right now, Commandant, so you could tell me the correct Hebrew word for countenance. But it's saying Panah, right? This is Bible Hub. So it's talking about a strong face, right? A fierce face. When you look at this oppressor, right? They try to make themselves appear fierce and scary. They try to make their spirit look fierce and scary. You know? And they do not regard the person of the old nor show favor to the young, right? When you look at the history of what this oppressor has done to us, and our ancestors and our children and our elders, and how they suffered at that's the proof that this is talking about the Cavachos. Right? The Cavachos are a curse from God. ICE is a curse from God. Donald Trump is a curse from God. You understand? And what is going to for us to, no longer suffer that curse is for us to turn back to God. I remember hearing Joe Muhammad break this down in the class, right? We're dealing with a supernatural problem. And what it's going to take to change that is a supernatural solution. And the way to get to that supernatural solution is in here in the ISUPK, following Christ, serving God, loving your brother as yourself, no longer worshiping these other gods. If you wanted a reason to not celebrate, celebrate the 4th of July, Lorenzo Salgado Araujo's death is reason enough. Sebastian's death is reason enough. If you wanted a reason to not be in that Catholic Church, their unalivings, their deaths is reason enough. Let me see if I can find video.
Was driving the morning. The Department of Homeland Security says an ICE agent shot and killed him.
So these are the photos in question taken by the FBI investigator. That investigator says that the substance appears consistent with methamphetamine.
But Salgado Araujo's family says it is not methamphetamine.
Is right now, Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, the man shot and killed by an ICE agent right here in Houston, is being laid to rest tonight. And now his family is pushing back against allegations in an FBI search warrant.
Yeah, that warrant says an investigator found a white crystal-like substance inside the work van Salgado Araujo was driving the morning. The Department of Homeland Security says an ICE agent shot and killed him.
So these are the photos in question taken by an FBI investigator. That investigator says that the substance appears consistent with methamphetamine.
But Salgado Araujo's family says it is not methamphetamine. They say it is a, quote, homemade electrolyte mixture. Salgado Araujo's family says that he used it to stay hydrated while working in the heat.
KPRC 2 News reporter Bryce Newberry now joins us live on Canal Street with the latest in this investigation. Bryce.
Yeah, Stephanie and Keith, there are certainly conflicting claims tonight about the contents of these small bags. The FBI alleging it could be something dangerous and illegal, while the family of Lorenzo Salgado. New details from a federal search warrant are raising big questions after last week's deadly shooting involving an ICE agent and Lorenzo Salgado Araujo. According to that FBI warrant, investigators wrote they saw small plastic bags inside the work van Salgado Araujo was driving, on the dash and on the passenger floorboard. They described a white crystal-like substance and said they suspected it could be methamphetamine, which is why they sought a warrant to search the van. But the attorney for Salgado Araujo's brother, who was a passenger in that van, now says the bags were not drugs at all, but granulated salt to be put with lemon and water as a homemade electrolyte mix used on hot Texas workdays.
He didn't even know what meth was. He's already detained. He already lost his brother. And now you're trying to insinuate that he's involved with drugs? Trying to discredit who he is?
It has no bearing whatsoever on whether or not the use of force that killed Mr. Salgado was justified. Right. This is a red herring.
Harris County DA Sean Tier on CNN this morning said his office watched evidence as it was collected, and he says testing was still underway, but they don't believe the substance to be drugs. The shooting happened 9 days ago after surveillance video showed ICE agents chasing the van. ICE has said the agent fired in self-defense, claiming Salgado Araujo tried to run over an officer. And the DA also noted that it's unusual for a federal search warrant like this to be unsealed and made public for everyone to see. In his first public statement since this shooting, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Texas tonight says that his office is doing everything it can to seek the truth and do the right thing. In his words, he's urging the community to, quote, let the justice system work. Live in the neighborhood side, I'm Bryce Newberry, KPRC 2 News.
So that was a news clip that I went right. And keyword that they said, right, appears. It appears to be methamphetamine. But they're already trying to push it off like they found it. Like they confirmed that it was that. And then you hear the lawyer, the attorney for the family saying contrary, that it's an electrolyte mix. But it's like they're pushing this to push a narrative to justify the ICE agent, man. And this is the damage that allegations like this do, man. Let me show you something else that I saw online that I was just disgusted by, man. Let me show y'all something, man. And this is the problem with our community, man. Where's this post? Let me see if I found this pendejo's post. Where's he at? Or I think we got Christian Officer Kamadap up in here, or what? There we go. Found it. This is a nasty. This is disgusting, man. Look at this. So, like, sir, whenever you're ready.
Oh, so like, Kanai, go ahead, Kanai. No sweat.
Look at this crap. Hey, shalom, sir. Yab Shabakta.
Shalom, Shabakta. What's going on, Kanai?
Just right here, sir. You know, I'm talking about this whole thing with Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, man, and how they're accusing them of having meth in his van. And it's crazy because they didn't say that they confirmed it was. They said that it appears to be that. But our people, man, I was about to share this video real quick to show, right, just the disgusting attitude.
This is what I know.
Oh man.
Yeah, they have this one, chemical where they'll put a little bit of that substance in there and it'll turn purple. What's
right.
The
so field tests, the field testing testers or whatever it's called, right?
Like what's taking so long for them to come back, if it is or not?
Right.
Like the family says that they would make a homemade
Salak, just sir, you dropped out.
Electrolytes. There you go.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So like, sir, we lost you for a second.
This is the thing that. Well, what's the last part you heard, Karna Salakia?
The electrolyte mix.
Okay, yeah, Khan. So the family said that they made a homemade electrolyte mix. Instead of wanting to buy one that's already by a company owned like mix. You understand? Like you don't have to purchase a name brand. You understand? But one thing for sure is like, why didn't they put that substance and it'll turn purple if it is illegal substance?
Right.
You understand?
Oh, look at it closely. Look at it closely.
Is a god, us with, because we've known that a lot of black and Hispanics, what's the term? There's a term, exonerated. A lot of black and Hispanics, they go in for crimes that they have not committed.
Right.
He got unalive. But you got it, Karna.
No sweat. I'm gonna play this clip real quick. Look at this bullshit.
Khan.
Oh, y'all knew this. Really, I don't need the substances they found on his dash to vindicate ICE. Salute ICE for doing a great job. I didn't need this new info to make my mind up about it. Maybe it's old news at this point. I'm glad ICE did what they did. Salute ICE. But the point is, everybody knows. They make songs about people like this. They always say that that's the connect. The Mexican's always the connect. If you're in the hood, if you have a little bit of street knowledge, you already know. You know who the plug is. You know who everybody goes to. It's always the dude with connections to Mesco. It's always them. So, you know what? This don't surprise me whatsoever. Great job, ICE. We love you. We support you. Tax-paying citizens that don't break the law, we support ICE. Let's go. So he wasn't innocent at all. We all knew this. Really, I don't need the substances they found on his dash to vindicate ICE. Salute ICE for doing a great job. I didn't need this.
You heard this, pendejo, sir? So that thing, of course, right? They always try. They don't want Officer Kamada to come live on the air, man. They really be trying to stop this brother, man. They really be trying to stop these criminals. Damn small hats.
All right.
Bitch ass parasites, man.
Bitch ass parasites.
Bitch ass parasite.
But yeah, Khan, sir, Salak, yeah, just bear with me.
Yeah, Khan, I mean, this is propaganda. Yeah, Kankana.
Yeah, Salaki.
You know, I wanted to say, if you can hear me, like, this is propaganda. Like, they trying to paint this brother like if he's Tony Montana.
Right. I saw that. I caught that. That was one of the first things I caught in this. Like, this fool made that image of him.
This is how they brainwash people. This is how they brainwash people.
Right.
Like if he's the plug. You know, like this is trying to. You know, he was dealing. He wasn't just a user. He was the plug. Are you serious?
Right.
And if that was the case, then the DEA said that they were the ICE agents were following the lead. Go ahead, Malama. If I drop or what have you, just continue, Karna.
Don't
wait on me. Salaki.
No sweat. Well, while you get that situated right, I'm gonna just say this: Nino America is a real piece of shit. You understand? He's a real piece of garbage for even doing this. You know, knowing that there's a family right now that is grieving the loss of their father, a son that's grieving the loss of his father, and you're gonna make this stupid post when it's came out that it hasn't been confirmed that that's what they found. It's alleged. But this idiot went and made this post, and he's part of the problem. He's part of the reason why America treats us the way it does. He's part of the reason why Donald Trump came out and said the things he said about Mexicans in Mexico. You understand? Why there's little respect for us. Everyone always wants to blame the cholos and the thugs and whatnot. No one ever blames the Tío Tomases. You understand? Nino America, you're the reason why we don't get respected as a people. You understand? Because let me tell you something. Every race has criminals. Every race has criminals and drug dealers and whatnot. Yet when an atrocity happens to them, it doesn't get ignored because of the crime that goes on in their communities. How about all the Asian gang members that there are in gangs and the stuff they smuggle across? And yet there was a Stop Asian Hate bill passed. You understand? There the whole Stop Asian Hate movement was pushed. No one ever said, well, you Asians are bringing drugs into our community. Y'all sell drugs. Y'all deserve to get attacked. What about the Asian on Asian violence? Ain't nobody ever tell that community that. Why? Because the Asian community does not have Uncle Toms on there coming live and speaking for their community. Same thing with the Arabs. Same thing with the East Indians. You do not see Uncle Toms in those communities trying to speak up and shame their own community to just gain the love and respect of America. But you know who you will see doing that? Our people. You'll see Raza do that, man. Like this pendejo right here. Go ahead, sir. Salaki, you able to say? You good?
No, you got it, Karna.
Okay. So and now I'm gonna go to the book of John, verse 8, chapter 8, verse 44. Right, and this is for Nino America and the hypocrisy of ICE. It says, "Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do." Nino America, ICE is your father. Donald Trump is your father. America is your father. Los gabachos are your father, the devil. And the lust of your father ye will do. ICE, Donald Trump, America, all want to bash and demonize Lorenzo Salgado Araujo. And that's what you did. That's what you did with your real. You went and demonized him. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth. That ICE agent that unalived Lorenzo Salgado Araujo was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth. Right? He did not tell the truth. He said that Lorenzo tried to run him over. Yet the footage shows contests what he's claiming. because there is no truth in him, right? This is a people. This agency has been caught in so many lies, man. This oppressor's been caught in so many lies, right? There's no truth in him, and this fool, Nino America, there's no truth in him. You understand? I saw a post about Nino America. That cat, I mean, that cat's under fire too, right? But that, what's his name? I forgot that brother's name, but he made a post exposing Nino America's rap sheet, how he was a drug dealer, how he was doing crime, how he was doing all types of things. Yeah, he's gonna go and demonize Lorenzo when that family is grieving. When he speak of a lie, he speak of his own. You understand? And that's the thing. They want to talk about, they're stopping drugs and crime and whatnot. Let me show you the hypocrisy of these ICE agents, man. Look at this article I just came across. It says, several ICE agents were arrested in recent months, showing risk of misconduct. Look at this. Investigators said one immigration enforcement official got away with physically assaulting his girlfriend for years. Another admitted he repeatedly sexually abused a woman in his custody. A third is charged with taking bribes to remove detention orders on people targeted for deportation. At least 24 U.S. immigration and custom enforcement employees and contractors have been charged with crimes since 2020, and their documented wrongdoing includes patterns of physical and sexual abuse, corruption, and other abuses of authority. A review by the Associated Press found. Look at this, man. It says once a person is hired, brought on, goes through the training, they are not the right person. It is difficult to get rid of them, and there will be a price to be paid later down the road by everyone, said Gil Kurlikowski, U.S. Customs and Border Protection from 2014 to 2017. Almost every law enforcement contends with bad employees and crimes related to domestic violence and long-standing problems in this field. But ICE's rapid growth and mission to deport millions are unprecedented, and the AP review found that the immense power that officers exercise over vulnerable populations can lead to abuses. So it is known to abuse drugs in there, man. You understand? They abuse drugs in there, do all types of sexual assault. They abuse the children. They're doing everything that they're claiming they're stopped trying to get from by going after your people, by going after people like Lorenzo. You understand? When they're saying they're trying to stop criminals and rapists when they're the criminals and rapists. So, like, sir, how's it going over there? Oh, he might have still been.
It's coming in clean, Karan.
Come. You able to say anything?
I'm looking for this video to send you that goes in hand with this. We have a first account of ex-wife of one of these.
Right.
Let me if you want to continue, Karan, while I get this.
Come, I'll go get it.
I got it, Karan, but I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Come. When he speak of a lie, he speak of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. So when they point the finger right at us, it's really them that are doing all that. It's really them that are the ones that are the criminals and the rapists, as I said earlier. You understand? So, like, let me get this crap out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the hell that is, but that's got to go. You understand? So it's them. They're the hypocrites, man. Now look at this right here as we segue into this. Killer ICE agent exposed as bipolar wife-beating monster. Oh, orale, I think.
He said it all comes down to my character.
So let me read this and then I'll play that clip.
Mm-hmm.
The ICE agent who allegedly shot and killed Columbia National in Maine this week has a troubling memory, his relatives and ex-wife say. David Bruyette killed 26-year-old Johan Sebastian Guerrero in front of Guerrero's 3-year-old daughter in Maine on Monday. The ICE agent's ex-wife, Ashley Bruyette, said in an interview with the Portland Press Herald, David, 37, had called her and admitted to it while defending his actions. She said, "Good night." Ashley had concerns about David's mental health. She also told the paper David is a U.S. Army veteran who had been receiving from the Department of Veterans Affairs, court records show. Ashley told the Press Herald that she had gone to David's superiors with her concerns. So, out of such a danger, she felt that she had to go to his superiors to warn them about, the dangers of this man. Claimed that David was abusive during their 2-year marriage, which began when she was. Now here's where I'm gonna get right. I want to see all the MAGAs and all the pro ICE, all the come to the defense of this devil, man, to the defense of David, and complain about how this is being brought up against him. And I want to see if they were quiet when all this stuff was brought up about Lorenzo. You don't have any problem with the FBI making this claim against Lorenzo. You shouldn't have a problem with David up these accusations against him. Right? When he speaks up of a lie, he speaks up of his own.
Mm-hmm.
There's Sebastian, man. Johan Sebastian Guerrero, man. Poor brother, man. And poor man, Lord be with his daughter. That shit is heartbreaking. Several of David's close relatives gave a fuller picture. They told the Associated Press that he had mental health issues since childhood. You ever notice that, man? See how they try to humanize this killer? See how they try to humanize him and try to give him excuses? Oh, he was abused since childhood. He had mental issues since childhood. He was in the army. He suffered PTSD. So that makes it okay for him to unalive this brother? That's what y'all saying? And was unfit to work in immigration and customs enforcement. So they knew he was unfit. So why did he work? Why work? His disabilities compounded by his service in Afghanistan. David deployed to the country from May 2012 to February 2013. He left the service in 2015, having attained the rank of sergeant. Afghanistan destroyed him, trained him to be a killing monster. It must have said they took someone who was extremely mentally ill and turned him into a killing machine. let me say something, man. He was already the killing machine before the military. He was a killer before the military. The murderer since the beginning. Let me find a picture of this agent, man. Where's this devil at? This is the devil right here. Share this. This is a cold-blooded killer right here. Understand? This is him right here. Was a murderer from the beginning, man. And when y'all want to know where's the proof that the white man is Esau, here's your proof. Here's your proof that the white man is Esau. And the link is there, Christians. Y'all can hit the link and plead your case. How you're not Esau and how you don't fit the Bible. Now I'm going to play that clip that you sent me, sir. Where's it at?
To know that I'm a good person. I told him that I was not going to lie for him. And then he asked me not to bring up the abuse that I had endured during our marriage.
He explicitly said to you, don't mention the abuse?
You don't mention any of the abuse or troubles that we had in our marriage. Right now, it's important to make sure that I look like I have a good character.
When you talk about abuse, if you don't mind expanding, what do you mean? What happened?
In our marriage, I experienced a lot of physical, emotional, mental, financial, and even sexual abuse through our divorce. He would choke me, slam me to the floor. He would push me against the wall, broke down the bathroom door, and pointed a gun at me and said that he should blow my brains all over the bathtub.
Who did you try to talk about his character to?
I had tried to report his mental health to his superiors in the military. I also tried to bring it to the judge's attention during our divorce.
Who do you blame for this incident?
It 100% could have been avoided. I blame the judges that were involved. I blame even some of the police that were involved.
Have you seen the statements from the widow?
It was really heartbreaking. I cried. I feel so deeply for her. I would like to see David behind bars, gotten away with things for far too long, and now it's resulted in a man's death. Be punished for it. He deserves to sit in prison for the rest of his life. He said it all comes down to my character. They need to know that I'm a good person, that I was not gonna lie for him.
So there you go, right? His character, obviously he's not a good person. He has a history of violence, right? Domestic violence and abuse. And of course, everyone wants to blame the military and blame whatnot. Nah, man, this devil gets no excuse. He's a monster. He was a murderer from the beginning, man. You're not going to, I'm not falling for that. I'm not going to accept that. So like, sir, anything you want to try and say anything?
Yeah, I want to say, like, you have two type of oppressors. The one that gets aroused by another man because, he lives in the closet. And then another one that gets aroused by violence. This is the ex-wife that's describing years of abuse.
Years
physical,
of abuse.
She said emotional, financial, and sexual.
Right.
Right. And then
right.
She said that she tried to report the concerns to the military superiors. And then she said that she also tried to raise the same concerns during their divorce proceedings, right? And
right.
What else did she say? And she said that this shooting could have been avoided 100%, right? But the institution failed to act, and that's what goes on with a lot of these oppressors. They come back home from serving, their service in the military, and they come back with PTSD.
Right.
And what does America do? They throw them into a field. They throw them into a field where they get a craving for security guard, or whether it be these agencies. But as long long as they could unalive somebody once a year, you know, it takes, you know, they can bear with that trauma that they faced when they were serving their term, you know, out there, wherever country, you know, they try to evade, right? And this is the thing that should make people stop and think, right? That this isn't about one encounter anymore, right? What's the other brother's name?
Lorenzo.
The brother before him, I forgot his name. Salaki, let's not forget. Lorenzo, also
Sebastian.
the other brother, Guillen.
Silverio.
Or not Sebastian, the one before
Silverio,
him.
Silverio.
Remember, it was the Silverio, right? Silverio, and then the other brother too, the Judite brother.
Oh, Keith Porter.
Right, whether Keith Porter, right? And this is the thing, that this is whether someone is showing a long silence, right? Their behavior has been in a position to use deadly force in the first place. They are barbaric and they're lunatics, right? So a combination of that, you're gonna have someone who's trigger happy, who's emotional, right? Who loves bloodshed because he's been blessed by the sword.
Right.
You understand? And these are the people who they make an excuse to say that he was raised. What did they say, Malama? That he was he had a tragic upbringing, or what have you?
Say again.
You said it. You repeated it when they said that he had like a hard upbringing or something like that.
Oh, a troublesome childhood.
There you go. You know, the oppressor somehow, because he had a troublesome childhood, he gets to get away with murder.
Right.
When in reality, this is a dangerous person, right? And those warnings shouldn't be ignored by Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know, his kind are gonna ignore those the warnings. But every time somebody is labeled to be brought up, you know, during troublesome childhood times, we should just say, well, you know what? Hold on. If this oppressor has been brought up through hardship, and this is the outcome, this is my warning. I gotta stay away from these bastards.
Right.
You understand? You see the oppressor coming, get out of his way.
Right.
Because you heard her say that, you know, he committed domestic violence. I think there's another clip. I think I put the other clip where she mentions that he did that to his mom as well.
Let me see. I'll check right now.
Hold on, I put the other clip. I think on this clip, he's hurting the people that he so-called loves. What makes you believe that he's not gonna hurt you? You understand? He hurt his own ex-wife in front of his children. What makes you believe that he wasn't gonna hurt this brother in front of his child? And Lord be with him and his family. You understand? You got it, Malakma? The video I sent you?
Khan, it's right here.
Working for ICE until yesterday, and I was completely shocked because I'm like, how do you keep getting in?
Well, you could play.
That he was actually working for ICE until yesterday, and I was completely shocked because I'm like, how do you keep getting into these jobs where you're around guns all the time? I asked him what was going on. He told me that I don't need to be answering questions for anybody, that all I needed to know was that it was a justified shooting and that he did do it. And he claimed that this man had tried to run him over. And I said, I don't see that in anything. And I've watched it from all angles. And he's like, well, I need you to lie about my character because this is what it comes down to is my character. I don't want you talking about any of the abuse in our relationship. Like, this is literally about me, actually. I told him that I was not going to lie for him, that I've waited years to speak my truth. I've been silenced long enough. And now I need to come out with everything because a man lost his life. That he was actually working for ICE until yesterday, and I was completely shocked.
Like, that's wild. Like how he had the gall and the nerve to say, tell her that, like, don't bring up anything about our relationship. Dude, you need to clear my name after he took someone's life away, man. Like, these are the people that claim to be all about morality. These are the people that claim to think that, think themselves superior to you, raza, to you, carnales y mujeres. They want to claim that they're superior to you in morals and that, they got their act together, but you don't got yours. I pray you understand that these oppressors are full of shit. Right? The Bible says when he speak of a lie, he speak of his own. They're a bunch of liars, man. When we say the oppressor is the devil, the Bible says, this is why. Because that's who's in your law enforcement. Abusers, criminals, rapists. They're the ones that become law enforcement. That will racially profile you because they think they're doing something for their country. They think that they're doing something good when they're doing evil, man. When they've been doing evil the whole time. It's like, sir, are you? I think Kamda might have froze, so I'm gonna keep speaking. You understand? And like I said, the other problem is the Uncle Toms, the sellouts, right? Everything they do to make it okay for this oppressor to talk about us and to spread lies about us. And you clowns will think they were telling the truth. That's the sad part. Let me go to the book of Ecclesiasticus real quick. Is it 8 and 12? Let me see. Let me go to the book of Ecclesiasticus. 8 and 12. Might be 8 and 12. Salaki, that might not be it. No, that's not it. Is it 12 and 8? Oh, it's 12 and 10. That was close. So, like, sir, trying to say something.
Yeah, Carnal, I found the clip where he says that he committed violence towards his own mother.
Okay.
I shared it on the whenever you want to play it though. I shared it on the chat, and if you could just go straight to the point where it's I think it's like a minute and 40 seconds. When you get a chance.
You say you send it to which chat?
hold on, Salakia. Oh, okay. It's the same one I already has. Hold on, Salakia.
Say again?
No, wait a minute, Kana. Is that the same one?
No sweat.
Okay, there you go. I'll just send it to you. I mean, I just put it in the group chat.
Okay.
If you want to go to a minute and 40 seconds.
Combo concert.
Abuse from him. I mean, just to ask the very basic, do you believe he's someone who should be an ICE agent, armed ICE agent?
No, I don't believe that he's anyone that should be obtaining any kind of weapon, just for the simple fact of like, just, you know, how he's been in his marriages, even, you know, towards his own mother. As a teen, he has always
towards
displayed
his own mother.
behavior, very angry person. And I've said for years that it's only a matter of time, buddy. I've even gone as far as saying, if anything's ever happened to me, he'd be the one to look at.
That was it, though, Carnal.
Oh,
You know, I don't know if you heard it. He said, even towards his own mother. You know, if he's willing to harm and commit violence against, you know, his mother, what makes you believe that he is not going to take your life?
Right.
He'll take it a step further. You understand?
Right.
God.
And that is wild, sir.
Yeah.
And that's who's your law enforcement. That's who patrols your streets. That's who racially profiles you. You know? And man, like when we call you the devil, this is why. It's got nothing to do.
It's like that's who you want to serve. So like that's who you want to serve next to. You understand? That's who you want to go on a boat ride with.
Damn, man, that's
you know that's who you want to call your friend. You know, your brother, your neighbor. That's who. Go ahead, Carnal.
You talk about the brother Lonely right there, like that's who you want.
Yeah.
Like, let me read the scripture, man. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Right? The Bible says never trust thine enemy. Right? You gotta wake up and understand. To all you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans out there, y'all gotta wake up and understand that this oppressor is your enemy. And the Bible tells you to never trust them. For as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Iron will always rust. So that's what the Lord is saying. The Lord is saying that they will always be wicked. They could pretend to be liberal. They could pretend to be not racist, but they really are. They're really not liberal. They hate you and want to unalive you. That's the truth. You understand? They don't have any love for you. They can't love you. And that's what we need to wake up as a people, man.
God. The oppressor can't contain his wickedness, Carnal.
Right.
That you know, he can't suppress it. That thing is going to spring out.
Right. You can't change what the Lord has made crooked. You understand? The Lord made this oppressor to be crooked. There's no chance that he's ever going to change one day and be good. How many years y'all been trying to change him, carnales mujeres? For how many years? And he, till this day, he has not changed.
Right.
So so like, sir, I was gonna, just cover those two topics for tonight. I don't know if there's anything you wanted to cover or talk about.
Oh, I mean, just since we're in the ICE topic, and then we could cut it after this. There's something else I wanted to share, right? Because now ICE is using other methods. These are like medieval methods, right? Hold on. I'm gonna put it in I'm gonna put it in the check.
No sweat.
Did you see it?
Let me see. Let me check. Nothing yet.
Nah, let me double.
Nothing.
Check.
Oh wait, there we go.
Maybe I put on the wrong one. Oh no.
I think I found it.
Oh, here we go. Lock it.
The company that made a modified version of the device for ICE says it allows for people to be flights and long bus trips. However, lawsuits filed compare incorrect usage of the wrap to punishment and even torture.
Yeah, because it's literally torture. This is a 13th century torture device. I mean, what's next?
Restraint device is called the wrap. Made a modified version of the device for ICE says it allows for people to be restrained during flights. However, lawsuits filed compare incorrect usage of the wrap to punishment and even torture.
Yeah, because it's literally torture. This is a 13th century torture device. I mean,
restraint device is called the wrap. The company that made a modified.
So like, sir, yeah, that is crazy, man. That they're admitting they're being bold with it and just coming and admitting to that they torture us. I mean, what do y'all think?
Full body restraint. Yes, carnal. No, this device that binds a person's legs and restrains their arms. And ICE is, this is their customized version, and it was designed so people can remain confined during what she said, the long bus rides and the deportation flights.
Right, the deportation flights.
All right.
Like my question is,
they said that it's intended for control. So like it's intended to control violent or self-harming individuals, right? But like what he said, like when you put a side-to-side picture of the ancient device, like it's a torture device,
right?
Like it has nothing to do with preventing somebody or restraining themselves from harming themselves. It's to cause and inflict pain, nothing else.
Right.
You understand? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are treated like animals. As long as they keep calling us illegals, you understand? They're going to continue to treat us inhumanely.
Right.
That's what they're really trying to say. That an illegal is it's a non-human. You understand? That's America. You know, I wanted to get a scripture, but you wanted to say something?
Now, concert like that is wild. I was just say real quick, like exactly why would you need to make this? Why would you need to put people in this thing? You know? No, but go ahead, sir.
Hold on. Let me get the scripture, Karna. Salaki. Wait a minute. If you could bear with me, Karna, if you want to add to it. Salaki, I'm trying to find
no
the
sweat.
scripture.
I mean, the fact that they're doing that, right? Trying to torture people, openly admit, like they admit to a lot of things, right? They admit that they racially profile you. They admit that they go, are getting you to make a quota, and now they're admitting that they torture you, man. Like, I'm still supposed to think that America has love for us. I'm still supposed to think that the white man is not the devil. Y'all gonna tell me it's wrong for me to think of my people first. And that's the problem, man. It's like, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Karna, if you could give me Isaiah 58:6, Karna.
Isaiah what?
58:6.
50:6?
No, 58. 58. And verse 6.
So, like, so you keep going in and out.
So, like Isaiah 58. And 6. No se escuchó. So, like it.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 58, verse 6. It is not this. Is not this the fast that I have chosen, to loose the bands of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, and to let the oppressed go free, and that ye break every yoke?
You understand that the Bible teaches us to examine the yoke, right? We have to examine this torture device, and we have to ask who placed it on us. Why was it placed on us? Why is it necessary? Why is it abused? You understand? Like Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you have to start to understand the times, right? Why isn't this device used against any illegal immigrants, against Arab illegal immigrants, against any other nation that are immigrants, Hispanics, right? A wicked nation sees a bound person and asks how to tighten the restraint, right?
Right.
And a righteous nation asks whether the restraint should be there at all. And we're not righteous. We're not asking, should that restraint be used against Hispanics? What we're saying is, you know what? You should tighten that restraint, make it tighter, because they came in here illegally. They need to come in here the right way. What did the other oppressors said? They're jumping the line.
Right.
We're not asking whether the restraint be there. You understand? So this is my question to La Raza. You know, how many restraints does one person need before the safety is going to become punishment? You know, they're taking different measures, but eventually, you know, it's supposedly just becoming our punishment. You understand?
Right.
That's what it's becoming. It's becoming punishment for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Don't think that this restraints are only going to be used against Hispanics, because, you know, recently I heard something about even Black people can be deported and be targeted as illegals or what have you, you know?
Right.
And why is this? Why are they placing people in a full body device when that person is already in zip ties or, you know, handcuffs? You know, why did ICE refuse to disclose how frequently the wrap is used? Have they used it before? Is this something new? You know, because I know they got some type of form of the same device in the prison for people that spit, people who, you know, want to that throw feces and they urinate, and, you know, they throw their pee, and they restrain them the same way. You know, but now they're using it against Hispanics. You understand?
Right.
Like, this government hates Hispanics, Blacks, and Native Americans. And they're going to continue to come up with other methods to harm us. You know, they place them, they use them in place for safety, but in reality, they become torture devices. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, wake up. You understand? You need to understand that the oppressor has a wicked hatred towards us.
Right.
And he's gonna execute. He's gonna execute his hatred against Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Now, who are you gonna stand with? Are you gonna believe in America? You're gonna believe in the American dream, or are you gonna believe in the kingdom of heaven? Are you gonna stand for the Lord? You understand? The Lord is the only one that can redeem you. He redeemed us when we was in Egypt. We was going through the same thing or worse. We were serving hard bondage, and the Lord, you know, he redeemed us, and he could do it again. But we have to come back to serve him. We have to come back and fear him. We have to come back and be obedient to the Most High God.
Right. Damn right.
You understand? That's how you loosen. What did the scripture say, Malak? What does the scripture say? To loosen the what?
So like it loosen the bands of
wickedness.
So like it. To loosen
Right?
the band.
That's how you loosen the bands of wickedness.
Right.
Right? Loose the bands of wickedness, to undo the heavy burden, and to let the oppressed go free. The problem is that you believe that you are free in America because you celebrated 4th of July, and you were allowed to throw fireworks in the air and throw something on a grill.
Right.
You know, that was all for entertainment. You understand? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you have to forsake this hell that is called the American dream. It is a nightmare.
Right, sir.
So forsake the spirit of America. You understand? So like
I'll say, sir, what we have to do, right, is how dumb you think we look celebrating the 4th of July or any American holiday when our brothers are getting gunned down and unalived by ICE, man. How dumb you think we look? We'll celebrate the 4th of July, say no justice, no peace, saying abolish ICE. I pray you understand, man. You can't say abolish ICE and then celebrate the 4th of July or any of America's holidays, man.
Right.
You want this to end, man. You gotta stop. You gotta stop celebrating. You understand? But still, like it's sir, I know you know was there anything else? Because I was yeah.
No sweat.
Say
You got
again?
it, carnal.
No sweat, no sweat. So like I didn't want to cut it short a little just because I got to
No,
get
so
a
you
birthday
got it.
Salakia.
No sweat.
But with that, man, you know that
Yeah,
that was just
no sweat,
that's
carnal.
the two. I pray y'all see what's going on. I pray that y'all see how this oppressor lies on us, man. I pray that y'all understand that all the things that are said about us, the stereotypes, the narratives, all those things are lies, man. You know what I mean? When they bring up the per capita, when they bring up how they you know the murder rates in Mexico, you know, it said that Mexico is safer than America in some aspects, you know? And that the whole narrative of the violence that goes on out there is pushed by America. Like, it's all propaganda. And I pray that y'all see that a lot of the things that are said about us is propaganda versus, you know, whether it's the truth. To make us seem bad, to make us seem like we're villains. We're the villains in this place and that they're the good guys. When it's the other way around, man. God loves Mexicans. He hates the cabachos.
Right.
You understand? So with that, man, I pray y'all take heed. Come learn the truth. Come to class. Come learn this truth, man, and apply it to your life, man, and truly decolonize and separate your mind from this oppressor, because that's how we're going to change things. That's how we're going to get out of this, man. That's how we're going to get justice for Lorenzo. That's how we're going to get justice for Sebastian. You understand? We got to turn back to our God. He's the supernatural solution that we need, and that's going to come save us. That's how you know who needs salvation. See, anybody else's father is getting gunned down by ICE for simply going to work. Take heed, Raza. Now is the high time to wake out of sleep. But with that, you want to say anything, sir?
Nah, carnal. Musa in Christ.
Okay. But with that, man, we'll be back at it again next week. Or maybe in these next couple of days, Lord allow, man. Try to go live again. Wednesday nights after 10 p.m. Lord allow, get to start on time next week. So look at this. But you know, I'm gonna keep doing this, man. But with that, man, you tune into another episode of the Inconvenient Truth. Subscribe to all our social media platforms. Subscribe to our channels. You can DM us on, you know, on all social media platforms, right? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, Discord. We're on all of those, man. I'll be on Kick soon. Beagle. Plan to go on live on those too. We'll get it in the works. But with that, man, I want to say Yahapa Hashem Shabbat to the canales. Yahweh Shamar Alata Bashim Yahweh to the mujeres. Tune in with us, Raza. With that, I want to say Shalom and Orale.
Jehová, tu Dios, te ha escogido para hacerle un pueblo especial. Jehová, tu Dios, te ha escogido para hacerle un pueblo especial. Un pueblo. No está hablando de los chinos, no está hablando de los árabes, no está hablando de los japoneses, de nosotros. Nosotros somos la gente más odiada en este mundo, más odiada. Y toda la gente de Dios.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isubk.com and pay your tithe drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one west. They're one west. They're one west. They're